5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 226 of the TTV podcast. I'm Meso.
I'm Verderan.
I'm Eljay.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Takuma Nuba. And I'm Tenebrae Invictus.
And hello, everybody!
Mardi Gras.
You know it's bad when I was doing the intro shtick, and I paused midway after I said 226 because I was expecting the Mardi Gras to come. But because Ben's here, it never came. I could have just barreled
Ben
on.
is not here, actually. Ben is not here. That's why.
Because Ben's here. Hey, Ben, how's it going?
From one goof up to another.
Wow, Meso, way to screw it up, dude. Come on now.
Well, he's probably taking
What's going on? Do you not know English or something? Or are you dumb? Are you daft?
He's probably taking a hard-earned vacation with the $50 that he earned last Brickfeed episode. Which, hey,
Okay.
full disclosure.
That was not worth $50.
Full disclosure, Purple did pay him. Like, he confirmed yesterday that
Did
Purple
he actually? Wow, he got the $50 already?
$50.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Whoa!
It was
Purple-
pretty impressive, not
Purple's
gonna lie.
a little bit of an idiot for.
Yeah,
but
she's a complete moron.
I have a lot more respect for her because she actually went through with it. She did pay him $50.
I can't honestly say I would have gone through with it.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, how about you go and check out?
You should check out the Brickfeed podcast.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
Yeah.
I believe it's episode 32.
Episode 32 of the Brickfeed podcast. If you've never watched an episode of the Brickfeed podcast before, I would advise you start with that one, and I think you'll be pleasantly...
Actually, I wouldn't because it's not a normal episode, and you might be. I don't know. I feel like that joke could go either way. You either like it or you
The joke
don't.
was funny, but we also had a lot of good discussion about a lot of interesting stuff on that episode.
We
So I feel
did,
there's
but
something for everybody.
there is, but don't expect that every week. Whatever happens in that episode, that's not going to be a thing.
Don't expect it.
Yeah, don't expect it. Don't watch our content, everybody, because we don't do everything
Wait,
great
no.
and stuff like that.
Hold on,
You know,
hold on.
you can't
Don't
expect quality every
consistent
time.
Quality.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. Never check out any of our other videos ever again. Just
some
in fact,
things-
just unsubscribe right now.
No, whoa,
Some
hold
things
on.
are only funny once, like Mardi Gras. But if you do
Mardi Gras funny every time.
every time.
I get
Mardi
a
Gras
every time.
is
Cannot confirm.
Thank you for
Yeah, I don't know if
I
I can.
appreciate
Mardi
the
Gras is older than half of your careers. Mardi Gras is a staple of this podcast, of this channel. It will always be a tradition and go down in history as one of the greatest things TTV has ever done.
I feel like I should go to more Mardi Gras parades.
One of the only
Yeah,
things
like
TTV
the
will ever
coverage.
do.
It's
2017,
like
man.
It'll be the one
funniest
thing that never dies. Hosts will leave, shows will end, but Mardi Gras sure as heck won't.
It'll
The
forever
thing
be
about
in the
that
hearts
is that,
of our
like,
fans.
It is
Exactly.
impossible for anyone just now listening to the podcast, or maybe a newer member, to even get why we say Mardi Gras. That's the thing.
It
that always
doesn't
gets me.
matter.
I
It doesn't matter. You
I
don't
just
need
thought
to
the RT podcast
understand.
where they say
Right.
Gus twice. You know?
Yeah,
Like-
it's
mean,
not
it's
a thing
alright.
you need to understand. Mardi Gras is just Mardi Gras. It doesn't mean anything.
It's own
just
entity.
It's just TTV.
It might as well be a host.
It is a host. Mardi Gras. Hey, Mardi Gras, how are you doing?
Mardi Gras.
How are you doing this week? Wow, that was really cool, Mardi Gras. Can you explain further about how that went? Mardi Gras, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop interrupting me. You gotta wait until I finish the question first. And then you can speak.
Democracy.
Mardi Gras sounds like it's choking on blood.
Hey, you leave Mardi Gras alone.
Charlie Brown universe.
Ouch, man.
It sounds
You
like
made
it's
Mardi
dying.
Gras cry, you jerk.
It sounds like it needs to be put out of its misery.
It's okay, Mardi Gras. I still love you. Everybody else might want to get rid of you, but I'm here for you,
It
buddy.
needs to be euthanized.
Okay, I'm ambivalent.
You're ambivalent.
This is your This is.
I
your
agree.
message.
It's just like, kill me. Kill me.
Alright. Enough shenanigans. Enough laughs.
Okay, so
Let's get right down to business.
Let's get right into the news.
Except
as-
let's not. Let's get right into
Oh.
the plugs. Wait, what,
Oh,
Eljay?
yeah. No.
Hair
you
plugs?
Go ahead.
Go
with
for the plugs.
Alright, so, do you guys want to talk about Lego? Do you guys
Heck
want to
no.
talk about perhaps certain sub-themes of LEGO. Do you guys want to talk about anything your heart desires within the confines of our TTV message board's rules? Well, there's a place for you! It's the
I like
TTV
it, that was
message
good.
boards at board.ttvchannel.com. And if the discussion has gotten stale, and you don't really want to talk about Bionicle or LEGO or anything, we have some fun TTV-related stuff going on it too, like our top 10 favorite moments of 2016 polls, which you can go vote on right now if you are on the TTV message boards. And if you vote in this poll, you are going to decide the order of our top 10 moments countdown, which is currently scheduled to be released within the first week of the new year, if not earlier, but probably first week of the new year. And you can go order stuff right now. I believe currently, do we want to say what's winning, or do we want to leave that as a surprise?
Oh, the poll?
Yeah.
I mean, they can just go check the topic and find
They
out.
can go check the topic, but...
Alright.
And if not, if they don't want to check the topic, they can wait for the video.
Alright. In that case, go do that. Go vote. Everybody, your votes will decide the difference. Currently, I believe we have something along the lines of, last I checked, it was a little under 80. It may have skyrocketed
It's 88.
since then. 88, alright.
88 people voted right now, and it's interesting the way we're doing the poll. We have 11 options. The one with the least amount of votes will get booted off of the list, so it's a top 10. And unfortunately, there are several ties almost all the time during the day. And like two
So we
options
need
will
your
tie.
vote to be that tiebreaker.
Exactly. So go and vote.
You can vote for anything you wish, any number of entries. Just go vote. Your vote.
Yeah, if there's anything we learned this year, it's that
You
you
need
don't
to
vote. Things can happen.
Yeah.
Complain.
And you can't complain about the
Sometimes
results.
if you do vote,
Except this
bad
time,
things
no
happen.
electoral college.
Right, and
Yeah.
no referendum. So
your vote actually counts.
Ouch.
Now,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Alright.
can you imagine?
All
you're
right,
like,
all right,
well,
all right.
I was part of the. I usually go to the RPG forum, so my vote doesn't really count. It's all just gonna. It's all just gonna swing towards the mask reveal or Eljay's or Meso's speech.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Speaking of which I guess ties in very nicely to our next point of discussion.
Campaign
Yeah.
funding?
Electorial college, yeah. I've been waiting all year to discuss this. No,
Dude, I want to be a part of the Electoral College.
I would. You know what? I wonder. Like,
I want to be a part of the electoral high school.
Do you think they have like
Wow.
Do you think they have like really cool like dinner get together parties or something where they just kind of sit
They all
down and
hate
they're
each
just
other's
like
guts.
they're just like, yo, guys,
I mean,
let's
when you think
vote
about
for
it,
pres.
each state, their electorates or whatever they're called.
Right.
It's literally a group of people where it's like, okay, if people vote enough for this, I'm voting for this guy. Otherwise, it's you. You've literally grouped together a bunch of people who are being elected on to vote
no, but
against
like,
each other.
But like this. Okay, how about this though? Because the electoral college, what I'm thinking of is what Meso was thinking of. It's literally a show set in a community college, and there's 50 students, and one of them is for one of the states, right? They represent like a stereotype. It's kind of like that. What's that one anime? You know what I'm talking about? The one of the
No?
where there's one character represents like the country. You know what I'm talking about?
That one.
Hitalia.
That one anime.
Italia. Yeah. Anyhow, but like, yeah.
How did
so,
you
like,
know that?
It's a long story.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
we think in the same Asian wavelength or something. Whatever. Long story short is that like so there's 50 students and they're all like stereotypes because the electoral college just lumps everyone together. So they're all stereotypes of whatever you think that person in that state sounds like. Great show. Kind of gonna picture the
watch
college
it.
humor.
What's the Minnesota one like?
Oh, it's basically Canada. But
Okay. I figured.
So I listened to everything that you said there, and the one thing that I took out of that was, so is it pronounced Electorial College or Electoral?
Electoral.
Nice.
electoral, I think. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Valid
It is.
inquiries.
Electorial.
All right.
Wait, okay,
job,
now I just
Bart.
got two different answers now. Which one is it?
Eljay's,
Roll.
Eljay's
There's
being
no
a
eel. There's no...
I mean,
being a
is it
mask.
an IAL or is
No.
it just an AL?
It's
AL.
AL.
Okay, cool.
The E is silent.
There's no E.
Okay,
I,
you're
if
confusing me.
anything.
You gotta stop
It is
this.
interesting that we're if the electors this year decide to go rogue, this will be the craziest end of 2016 ever. This will be unprecedented.
Oh,
because
wait
the
a
college
second.
has not technically voted.
I
yet.
mean,
I totally forgot. The vote's actually happening really soon.
It's happening very soon. Right now,
I think
as
Tuesday, isn't it?
As a fact, Trump is president-elect, which means that he is the one that we have counted all the votes, and he is the electoral winner. He's the president-elect, but he's not the president yet. Okay, all right. It sounds better. Okay. How many times in English is something there 'cause it sounds better?
We've put off enough people by talking about this.
Well, I mean, like...
Oh, yeah.
This is
we're only stating facts. Nothing's been...
Yeah, we're only stating facts.
I
These
know,
are
it's
actual
just the
facts.
fact we're discussing it.
So here's what could happen. The college could be like, hey, well, I'm not going to say that word. The college could be like, hey, let's just completely go, like, they can do it, and there's just a fine, basically. And so some people are like, well, let's raise enough money, and we'll send it to them, and then they'll cover the fine, and so they can vote against who the people voted.
I'm pretty sure that counts as bribery.
You could make a good argument that it does. The thing is, if they did that, and a lot of people do want them to, and a lot of people are like, you need to do this. Like some people will back down saying, I can't consciously do this or whatever. If they did that, that would be the craziest end of 2016. Like the absolute craziest end of 2016, because this would cause so much controversy. I mean, we already saw the controversy that came out of the election. Imagine if a bunch of people decided that whatever happened with the rest of the nation mattered.
I mean, I have something more I could add, but I don't know that we want to go much deeper into political discussion.
We don't need to.
Anyhow,
Yeah,
there we go.
Not about
Che-
as deep as we
this-
can. But it is a thing, and it would be a crazy bookend for the year.
Yeah, it would just be fitting, I guess, for this year.
To everyone listening, Kahi really, really, really wants to discuss politics.
I
What a
mean,
politicast
this
on your own channel.
I want to inform people about the way things work. Not actually give my opinion on something. It's okay. My opinion on this is not important. I did see a really funny post my friend the other day.
We need a lie counter.
Where it's like, I'm just talking about the election. He was like, all right, you think about 2016, all the stuff that happened. He says, DiCaprio got an Oscar. The Cubs won the World Series. The UK left the EU. And Trump won the presidency. All these unexpected things.
All extremely boring things.
Harambe.
Also,
It all started with Harambe.
I still don't have a girlfriend, so not even 2016 could give me a girlfriend at the end of it. Out of all the things that shouldn't happen.
Not crazy enough.
Not crazy enough. That's still...
Speaking
maybe it
of
was
crazy
I'm not touching that.
things...
Wait, was
Speaking of
Harambe a
crazy
dude or a
things that did happen that nobody could have predicted.
I appreciate
I
that.
Was
gotta
Harambe a dude
strike while
gorilla
the
or a chick
segue is
gorilla?
hot.
I
I
don't
can't
even know.
No.
Okay, everybody, just keep talking over Meso. I'm tired of them ruining our conversation
trying.
here. Yeah, no. We'll get to it. We'll get to it later. Nope.
Meso, they
I don't
want
wanna
to
give you what you
having
want.
actual discussion
We got
so we can
stacked
talk.
news. We can't talk about the electorial.
They don't want to. They don't want to possibly talk about Bionicle Gen 3. They just want to talk about Harambe again.
Listen, Harambe is an important topic of discussion, okay?
He died
was a
for our
failure.
He got
sins.
like 17,000 votes.
Yeah, he was voted in as... People wanted him as our
actually.
president, so
actually-
he's a big deal.
17,000
That
people.
was actually disproved, but we can keep believing it.
Wait, was it really?
Yes, because there's specific rules on who you can write in. Like, that already has to exist in some way of being campaigned for.
That doesn't mean someone didn't break the rules.
Well,
No, I mean, like, no.
Maybe you could have written him in, but it didn't count as an actual vote.
Well, yeah.
Because
sure.
like imagine if everyone wrote in
But
Harambe,
how would
who
you
would
be
go
able to keep
who would
track
go into
of-
office? Like
How would you keep track of 18,000 people that wrote for it if it didn't get actually counted?
I just love the fact that like half a subscriber base essentially was like the number of people that voted for Harambe. Like the amount of
thinking
content
thanks a
built
lot.
over years, like half of that was like, oh yeah, no, Harambe in the last 6 months, sure, he's president material. Let's do that.
It's pretty bizarre. You know what else is pretty bizarre?
Oh my gosh.
The recap finale.
It was really cool, Meso. Oh my god.
Okay, Eldon showed his
It's
face.
probably the biggest thing that's happened recently. Eljay, how are you feeling right now in this post-face reveal world?
Really good.
You
Really
satisfied by everything that's going on?
good. Oh, more than
Everyone's giving him
course you
compliments
are.
and telling
Yeah.
him he's a little baby.
How would you
LJ,
not
you
be?
are so hot. Oh, LJ, you are so cute. Wow, how did he turn out so handsome? Most handsome person of the whole TTV.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
Why
like,
did he have
okay,
to
guys.
be cute, though?
Yeah, why he gotta be cute, though?
How come he's not ugly?
Okay.
Why were you covering that face all these years, big boy?
Wow.
These are real comments.
It's been an interesting experience.
It's been so much fun. It's been really funny. The memes, though. Oh my gosh.
The memes are the best part. All
Mine
those
is
all
best.
those funny pictures.
Mine is
Memes are pretty fun.
Stupid car.
What car?
Anyone hear a car? I didn't
that
hear
was
a car.
extremely
What?
loud for the usual.
I mean, what kind of a car was it?
I don't know.
Allegedly.
I have a non-existent car, apparently.
Seems
Anyway,
like a
yes,
conspiracy
Takuma,
theory.
you and Viper's memes are some of my favorites that I've seen. I'll put them both in the video right now.
Yeah. I swear, Viper's one. The glasses, they're blurry. You're trying to read perfection. You wipe it off. You see me.
Viper is the
But-
meme master. All right.
She's really good at that.
Lesser known fact: Viper is really good at making memes.
She is.
Lesser known
She is
fact.
phenomenal. She's probably the best out of all of us at making memes.
Easily.
Yeah.
She is so...
And, of course,
the
she was the
epic
only one who
memer.
didn't have internet access when Bionicle memes were exploding earlier
Yeah,
this year.
really funny timing
I
there.
That's
so
a
bad
crazy
for
thing
her. She
that
actually
happened
had-
in 2016.
She had Bionicle memes like saved up, and she didn't get to
it's
use.
kinda a bummer.
But
Yeah, just-
it is actually kind of crazy that like
Excuse me.
Bionicle. Like, we also found out not only is Bionicle canceled, but how popular it was. among
Yeah,
people.
in the
That was
same
crazy.
stretch of time.
Yeah, it's also crazy that we got to find out how popular Bionicle was after Bionicle came back and died.
Right.
Yeah.
So my favorite comment from the Eljay face reveal was like, you know, all the comments about Eljay's face and stuff were pretty funny, but one comment that I personally liked was, well, I guess we really know who won the Civil War now, don't we?
Call back.
Which is never going to happen this year. Man, this year is a very,
Our huge Civil
it's a
War
very,
It's
like,
been a very eventful
eventful year. I can't say it's
Brick
a
Fair
great,
happened this year.
I nearly
Oh
said
my
it was
gosh,
a great
right.
year, but like, a lot of stuff
It
happened
wasn't
this
really
year.
a great year.
No,
but
I've
it had
hated
great
For us-
elements.
hate this year.
For us, a lot of
It
stuff
had
happened that
some
was
great
great.
elements for us.
We met each
Yeah.
other and realized that was unexpected. I never thought that, like, a couple years ago that we would be able to all go out and meet each other.
Especially not in the way it happened, mostly free of issue. Like, I expected there'd be a few calamities along the way, but it was mostly fine. This
Mostly
stuff was
fine.
minor.
I mean,
We were able to deal
your
with it.
plane
Our
was
biggest
delayed.
issue was just that we didn't go to DC like we wanted to. That's
And
really
it's-
it.
There
But we
was-
And you
did go
make
to DC.
terrible housemates,
Eventually.
apparently.
We're
Arguing about
fine.
milk.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't want to, like, again, don't want to get the people impression. We're pretty good house guests. Like, we were.
We
we were
exaggerated
good.
for the sake
The-
of comedy, but realistically, the only thing we could have really done better was make sure there weren't many crumbs on the floor.
But
to
we
not
s-
attract
but we
the
swept-
massive ant army.
We did sweep it up. We did, you know, the lady at the end gave us a really great review on Airbnb. So
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
fine.
It was fine.
Everything was
It was-
fine.
it's not like I'm
I will
envisioning
say-
this huge mess that the audience is thinking that we caused. It was just a couple
with that huge. I mean, there's vlogs and video to prove that there wasn't a huge mess. But with that said, speaking of videos and vlogs, to bounce back off that milk discussion we had a while ago, we do have a vlog where Vin is eating a bowl of cereal and just leaves it downstairs, and LJ has to go tell him to go get it and pick it back up.
Huh.
So I'm just
What a
saying,
twist.
there is evidence that Vin is very forgetful with his milk and cereal.
And I'll tell you right now,
Yeah.
that's not the last time he forgets, because that was on, like, one of the first couple of
That was
days.
the first night, I think.
Yeah, no,
I'm
you're right.
pretty
It's the
positive
first
that
night.
It was Vin, based
Yeah.
on situational evidence that actually being there.
It was Ven.
Probably.
It was.
I think
now
we
that Vin's not here to defend himself, it was totally Vin.
It was Ven.
Wow.
Let's just lump this all on him. He can't say a word here. Audience,
Yeah.
it was then.
Oh no, it was Kai too. Trust me.
Yeah, there
was
was
both
one
of them.
innocent part.
There
we
is
all
no
did
video
stuff. I
evidence.
spilled some chips at one point.
There's no video
There was milk
evidence of
left
this.
out. We all
Yeah,
did
there's,
something.
there's no video evidence, but there's situational evidence. We discussed this last time, Kai.
Witness testimony.
You forgot
Let's go.
about... Yeah, not only did I see you leave a bowl of ramen out on one of the last few days,
Ugh.
but you forgot
microwave.
about the box of donuts, meaning you are forgetful.
Oh, do you want to talk about being forgetful?
Yeah,
I
but
bet he re-microwaved.
Do you
the
remember
ramen
how?
noodles.
Remember how the lactose intolerant people here never had any glasses of milk? Remember how that was? Of course they didn't have any milk. They were
yeah, I was
lactose
about to say like.
Yeah, I just like that's kind of the pot calling the kettle
see-
black here. If you're trying to say I'm forgetful, we just had a whole episode.
See, I went back and I watched that, actually, and I put it down on the counter. And who's to say I didn't go back to get it?
Well, that's not it. I'm saying that you forgot that you had the glass of milk.
The thing was, you were saying that you didn't drink any milk at all, but you did.
That's incorrect. I said Meso got me a cup of milk. I remember having some milk.
That's not true. That is
My claim wasn't that I actively sought the milk out.
No, I know. I'm saying that's after.
You're changing the claim that you made early on. You claim that you never drank any milk until we realized that Meso had given you it, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, that did happen."
Yeah, but you're like, "Oh well."
You can go back and listen to that episode. You denied drinking milk.
Well, it's because that he associates drinking milk with actually pouring.
With actually pouring it, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who poured the milk.
Right. It's still your glass of milk.
The bottom line is,
for you.
I know I didn't leave anything out.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that your whole thing was well, you're forgetful because you forgot the box of donuts, and I'm like, well, you literally forgot you drank milk.
But you forgot.
Yeah,
we've got to comb over all our vlogs and look for the tiniest little discrepancies, put together an evidence folder, and then have a court case.
The whole basically what I'm saying is that true, I don't remember every single thing that I did at Brick Fair, and you don't either. But the fact that I forgot that we had donuts there is not proof that I left the milk out any more than you forgetting that you drank milk.
We had donuts there.
It's a lot worse for you though, Kahi, because
my thing didn't involve milk. How is it worse for me?
At least with me, I was handed something. It's easier to forget something that you were given.
Oh yeah, but much easier than something I just looked at.
You recorded the film. You recorded the film for the vlog. You focused on the donuts. You went back. You edited the vlog, and then uploaded it.
You're saying that as though you didn't focus on the cup of milk that was in your hand when you took a sip from it.
I don't understand. You physically held it. I'm filming everything. So of course I'm not paying attention to every single thing on the counter. You literally have it in your hand.
It is equally as bad. You both forgot about things. So. It totally is.
Of course it is.
Anyway,
okay.
We don't need to dedicate a whole episode to the milk again.
Thank you guys for the awesome distraction. So
yeah. Anyway,
I'm sorry I forgot something I looked at.
Several different times.
We all forgot stuff at one point.
Anyway. In any case, the recaps have officially ended, and my face is out there in the world.
Now that you've shown your face,
here we go.
What are you gonna do next?
There it is.
Wow.
I'm going to Disneyland, Meso.
And you're also gonna be hosting a live stream.
Oh, yes, okay. So we are going to be having a live stream. Actually, two things are happening. I still gotta make the announcement video. So first of all, starting today, December 17th at around 3 o'clock p.m. EST. This is coming out on Tuesday, so I just dated this. We're going to be doing a Minecraft game weekend on the island of Matsnui. It's going to be Minecraft Survival. You need to be a part of our TTV Discord server in order to get the IP address. And it's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to go until Tuesday, and it'll end at 3 p.m. EST. And when it ends, we're going to be starting a live stream. And I'll be talking and discussing the end of the recaps and answering questions. And pretty much almost everyone here is going to be there as well. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be fun. You should definitely tune in, because I will be on camera. So I will talk to you all face to face.
It will be a momentous occasion.
Not face to face, because you're not seeing their face. So just one face.
Face
to screen.
Guest hosts for the live stream.
Face to screen.
In the database world, we call this one-to-many.
Yes.
Wow.
That is true, yeah.
This could be a fun time. I always like our live streams, and this one in particular. This could be good.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. They'll see me. So that's that.
Well, that was a thing that happened. Fairly momentous. As far as other stuff that is going on, which I would like to mention before we delve into some other stuff of great importance, is the second episode of the stop-motion series Okoto Origins by the one, the only, the Metro Nui Legacy, released this last week. And we have a little cameo scene in it. And I would heavily advise anybody who watched the first one, Okoto Origins, way back when in 2015, I believe it came out, or early 2016, I forget at the moment. It was a fantastic episode, and I loved it, particularly for its visual design. The stop motion itself was good, the animation was good, but the effects that he uses for the environment and the character models, those are the strong points of the show. IMO.
It looks like no other stop motion.
They are no less phenomenal this go around. So what you all need to do, he has criminally low views for the amount of work I'm sure he put into it. Go watch it. Spread the word about it. It is yet another example. I rank this right up there with Trial by Tahu by Parecki, which we also rewatched recently and loved a heck of a lot more the second time we saw it. Some of the best Bionicle fan content in recent memory, and it is perfect evidence of why the fans are perfectly capable of handling Bionicle now that it's gone. So you should all go check it out. Our cameo scene, it's gotten some mixed reception.
Okay. Let's talk about this for a second here.
I didn't actually know this happened.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I
here's
didn't
the thing.
know that they were in it until I watched it.
The way that he did it, and there's nothing wrong with it. What happened is that like he asked if we wanted the cameo in it, and we're all like yeah, and then he sent us our lines to do. So we recorded them, we sent them back. With voice acting, it's very different to do if you're given individual lines, because if you listen to some of the stuff that we've done in terms of voice acting, we tend to usually do them in a group. We'll have everyone around, we'll do a table read, and we'll record the actual lines, we'll go back and forth. Me and Var did a very long recording session with recently when we did that, and we just kind of like you go over the lines again. Yeah. So long story short, voice acting is a lot more difficult than it seems. It's also very difficult if you can't hear the context of the other's voices. And so part of that did come into play where, like, with the lines, some of the lines, and when they're all put together, feel weird, or they in the way that they're acted. And part of that is because, like, the context wasn't always there for us, just in terms of doing. And it was impossible for him to organize this all. It's not his fault or anything, but it's just like for the reception that we've gotten, compared to like the stuff that we've already done in terms of voice acting for our channel, and people were like, "Oh, what's."
To be fair, it hasn't been all negative. I saw a ton of comments on the video freaking out about the fact that TTV was cameoing in it. They were like really excited to hear us. It was only on Reddit and a few comments.
Yeah, on Reddit
on the
and
video
Reddit.
that I
And I mean, like,
Oh.
it is part of it is also it is justified in the sense that when you do hear it, because it's how disjointed it is a little.
It's also the
jarring
fact that
on
I don't
our
make
parts.
any claims whatsoever to be a good voice actor.
Yeah,
Like,
same
even
too.
when
I'm not.
He wanted me to. He asked me to voice Jollar, and I was honored because like I love the project.
Right.
So I was like, I told him up front, like I'm not a great voice actor. If you don't like it, feel free to swap me out. I will not be offended. But I was just
Same thing.
excited to help out with it.
And I think like out of all of this, Viper had the most lines and he contacted her personally as well. For me, he sent me the Takuma lines alongside, and I think
How many people were in this? I didn't even know you guys had been contacted.
He just contacted us on Twitter.
Me, John, and Viper.
Yeah.
I voiced
Okay.
Jala, John voiced Takuma, and Viper voiced Harvali.
She did.
That
Nice.
one archaeologist from book 2. It was just
That's-
a little cutaway scene. They weren't.
I'll have to
main
watch
characters.
this now. I did not know this.
Yeah.
You'll probably cringe at voice acting like that.
Oh, probably. Well, I mean, hey, I know you guys are very capable of voice acting when we do our own projects, so.
I think like,
Meso, you did great as that
really like
thing that we haven't. That's not really.
Well,
You did great.
Wait, are we talking
I've
about?
done anything like that.
Are we talking?
Your thing.
your thing, Takuma. Long story short, we
Your thing,
recorded
Takuma,
a
yes.
bunch of
I mean,
things.
you
over
can
time.
talk about it. I don't care.
Okay, we did like a funny radio drama.
I don't know. I
skit
don't know
kind
if
of
it's
thing.
gonna get released or not, but you don't have to like.
Gotta
act to
post it
them.
up somewhere.
Okay.
Well, we should talk about that. But long story short, we've done a lot of voice acting just in general for a lot of shows that have been in development or we're in development. I don't know. We did a lot of voice acting back with Biocraft, obviously enough, but like we've done a lot more since then too. So it's a very interesting process. It's very different than what people think it is, and obviously there's a lot of professionals out there who can just go into.
I guess the moral of the story is don't hate us. I'm sorry if you didn't like it. I'm just glad I got to be a part of it.
We will definitely. Do
Yeah,
our
you
best
guys have
next
done like what has this been like a 10-minute basically explanation as to why you don't suck.
Yeah, basically.
Well, because, like,
Don't worry though.
I did
it
feel
makes
bad.
it all better, guys.
Well, I felt
Everyone
bad.
will forgive you.
I felt bad because like
Not me.
I did really like everything that Metro Newly Legacy did was great, and I felt bad that like with our presentation that it didn't completely enhance the viewing experience as much as other people did. And it was also a thing where like some people did say the thing that drew them out is that they recognized our voices, which is I guess the point in him contacting us to do it. But
Yeah, that's true.
some people, and I've seen that before in movies where like I'll be like, oh hey, that's Louis C.K. So
That's why they've
As a
replaced
dog.
all the voice actors for the Ninjago film with A-listers. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Exactly. Because
It's
they didn't want anyone to be taken out.
yeah,
That was basically that. Anybody who watches this, go lend a view to Metro Movie Legacy. He deserves a heck of a lot more attention for what he does, and that is honestly that.
That's it.
Now, do we want to make an announcement?
If it's not something I'm thinking
it's
about.
been a
My
long time.
birthday's coming up. Okay, what's next?
Happy birthday.
Christmas next week.
Not
birthday.
yet. Shut up,
Or,
Meso.
sorry, this week.
Merry Christmas!
It's not Christmas either.
Yes, I believe we should make an announcement.
All right. So, over the last, I would say, month, we have had our Patreon up at patreon.com/the TTV channel. It was made in response to the closing of Vessel earlier this year, like a month ago, month and a half. The fan support has been overwhelming. When we put it up, we admitted we don't have experience with Patreon. We are new to this entire thing. It's likely we may make mistakes along the way. It's going to be a learning experience for all of us. We need your help. So we asked for advice on the perks we should do for Patreon. We got a lot of ideas. We had a big brainstorming session. We hashed out what exactly we're going to do. And now today on the podcast, we feel like we are ready to announce at least most of the stuff that we're going to do. A few things may still come at a later date.
Yeah, a
and
few
of course
things
we
still
can add
being
stuff
worked
in
on.
at any time we want, but we've got a list of stuff to basically talk about. Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it, Var? Or do you want to do it, Kai? Run down this list.
I would say, Var is already going to do it anyway, so.
Was I?
In the video. In the
I'll
video
do
we're
it.
making, right.
Okay,
A
I'll
video
let you
that
do
was
it.
scripted.
Announce it. Announce everything.
No,
Awesome.
Okay,
We can talk
do we
about it.
have all of our perks in a
It's
easy-to-read format?
I
it's
posted
right
it earlier today, yeah. Right up
Where
there.
is it?
Scroll up.
Scroll up, just like.
There it is.
Yeah, I'll read it exactly how it's written.
Do it.
All right.
Go for it, yeah.
For $1, one of you guys will be given a shout out every episode. And you also get access to the private Discord server that we will have set up, as well as a Patreon badge on the message boards.
Right.
Clarification.
Right.
What this means is when you pledge to our Patreon for $1, we will give you a shout out. Keyword being one of you guys will be given a shout out. Obviously, with the multitude of people that may be pledging to our Patreon, we can't give everyone individually at every episode an audio shout out. That would drag on the podcast for too long. The idea that we were tossing around was, like, every episode we'd be like, okay, here's an example patron from our Patreon. Shout out to blank. And it's just a random person from our Patreon. And they get the shout out for that week. And then the rest of the Patreons will likely be given credit in a text scroll.
They
or
will not
end
likely.
credits.
They will be given credit in a text scroll at the end.
They
of
will
the
be
episode.
given credit in a end credits text scroll at the end of every podcast
Yeah,
episode.
we'll have a list of
Now-
every single Patreon.
Continue on.
Patron.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Now, for $3, and you guys are more familiar with this one, you'll get exclusive early access to an MP3 of the TTV podcast and Breakfeed podcast, fresh off the recording booth about 24 to 48 hours before it's released everywhere else.
And this is one we've already been doing, so it's
Been
pretty
going pretty well.
self-explanatory.
We're not going
one.
to change it.
Yeah. So if you're already a Patreon subscriber, you already know like what that entails. You get access to the video ahead of time.
Yeah.
So the audio portion of it, at least.
Now, $5, you can request, and some people may not be amused by this, a custom member title, and are also given the option to call in to one of our live streams.
Yep. On the TTV message boards, we have the thing called member titles. Sometimes we award them for specific criteria. Sometimes it's a special case where somebody does something and they get a custom member title. Now, the new initiative is if you feel like supporting us on Patreon at the $5 interval, you have a choice for what you would like your member title to be. And as Eljay said, any live streams we do, you can call into, which means, if you're not familiar with Makuta Fest, how we do things on that live stream, it's basically a Q&A segment, and you can be added to the live stream temporarily to ask a question live on air, and then be removed from the live stream afterwards.
Right.
Yep.
That's what we're talking
Now,
about.
of course,
And along with that announcement comes also the announcement that, well, we'll be doing more live streams.
Right.
Woohoo!
Yep.
We are gonna be doing more
People
live
seem to
streams.
like whenever we do them. Why not do them more?
Yep.
Indeed.
So that'll be a thing that's going to start happening a lot. It's coming up, so it'll be really cool.
All right, that's pretty much the end of the gradual climb. Now we're going to go a little bit higher. For $10, it says here, Gold Member, in all caps. You get entered in for a raffle for a Lego set. and access to our exclusive content.
Okay, so I want to make sure this is clear right now, which is why we're labeling this a gold member. Everything stacks when it comes to this. Up until this point, everything completely stacks on each other. So when you pay $3, you don't just get an early access to the MP3 or the TTV podcast and the Brickfeed podcast. You get also what's in the $1 thing, which is you're in the running for get a verbal shout out every episode, and also in the credits. You also get the Pirate Discord server and the Patreon badge on
all the perks that we just mentioned for each price bracket. If you pay the $10, for instance, you get every single one of those perks.
Right.
So it's not only the Lego set raffle that you get for the $10. It's the Lego set raffle plus everything else underneath it.
Right.
Yeah.
If you pay the $3, it's the $3 bracket and the $1 bracket that you get. $5, it's 5, 3, and 1.
And the $10, it's 10, 5, 3, and 1. So you get all of this stuff. So again, reading off the list, gold members get raffle for Lego set, access to the exclusive video content we'll have on Patreon. You can request a custom member title. You're able to call into our live streams. You're able to get early access to MP3 of the TTV and Brickfeed podcast. You're also able to be entered in to get a shout out every episode. You also get access to the Discord server and a Patreon badge. So all of that you can get for $10 a month.
It's a pretty sweet deal, if I had to say. And something to... Yeah, I can't even talk. I'm breaking my words.
Words are hard.
Something I need to specify in regards to the exclusive content. I almost did it again. Come on, Meso, get your act together. All right.
Meso,
the
dropping the ball
exclusive
here, man.
content is referencing the Vessel exclusive content that we used to have, as well as any additional exclusive videos we like to make going forward.
Which there will be
To
some.
clarify, the circumstances in which a video is made exclusive is basically when we have an idea for something that seems fun, but it wouldn't work on our YouTube channel for whatever reason. Maybe it's a Let's Play and there's too many parts to put on the YouTube channel and it would flood our...
Or it's just something completely unrelated to Lego.
Right.
Exactly. Or it's just some random other offshoot video that we want to make, but it wouldn't go over well and it would break our, subscriber
Flow.
interest. They probably wouldn't click on the
Right.
video to check it out because it has no relevance to anything.
It's something that we otherwise would not have made anyway.
It's not a guarantee. There have been times where we have put stuff on the channel, but 9 times out of 10, it's likely that a video such as that would go up on one of our other services. It used to be Vessel, now it's Patreon. So if you pay $10 a month, you'll get a link to our entire backlog of Vessel content, which means the Undertale Let's Play, the Game Dev Tycoon Let's Play, the webcam versions of BioTalk Book Club, the TTV after shows that we made way back when. And you will also get access to any new content that we do make going forward that falls under that exclusive banner.
That's a ton of videos.
Right.
It really is.
We made a lot. I think, was there like 30 episodes in Undertale alone?
Yeah.
There is one thing too about the raffle for a Lego set, and we had talked about this briefly, and we'll see. Well, we're obviously with all of these, we're going to be measuring the feedback, seeing what we can or can't change.
Yeah.
One thing for the raffle for the Lego set is that as of right now, it is probably going to be U.S. based people only.
Probably.
And
That
that's,
may change.
That may
but
change.
For the
I would
May
moment-
change in
love
the
for it to
future.
change in the future. The thing is that
Yeah.
overseas shipping is going to up that cost for that Lego set by
Brutal.
a huge amount, depending on how far you are away from the U.S. Because we are all based in the
Basically.
U.S. and we're going to be buying this set and shipping it. So, long story short, it's easier for us to do U.S. shipping, and we will probably and it will be a very it won't be like a $10 set or something. It will be something
Yeah.
where
We could probably add a stretch goal, maybe,
Probably.
to increase that out.
That's
Yeah.
another thing that Patreon has, stretch goals, and those will be added periodically.
right.
But
We
Yeah.
could
before
see
we
that,
continue,
see the interest
we
if
do have
enough people
we do have
are
a ton more
interested in
perks.
this.
There's just one last thing I want to make clear. How Patreon works, we said this in the announcement video, and this will be reiterated. Expect us to say this countless times. The most successful Patreons are the ones where a ton of people pledge very little. The reason for this is that Patreon, while it is in the strictest sense of the word a donation-based platform, it achieves the best success when it's not simply one and done, when it's a recurring thing that people can count on. For instance, we have 36,000 subscribers. If every person in our audience donated a quarter, we would never have to worry about views again, basically. Or
Right.
we wouldn't, or it would offset the cost a dramatic amount. If they
would.
donated 50 cents or to $1, we could basically make this a full-time thing. That's just to put it into perspective. So, it is very much appreciated when people do donate large amounts, and all the
definitely.
rest of the perks on here are mainly sorted towards that, larger amounts. Those aren't what we're aiming to do long term. What Elder is about to read are special things that we have for the people who are willing to donate bigger amounts. It's not what we expect to get on a regular basis, and it's not what we expect anyone to pay for more than once or twice, basically.
We're not looking to
It's
use
just
them as
there.
our foundation.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word, foundation. It's there as supplementary stuff to say thanks for the people that do want to go out of their way to support us. But if you want to support us, the best way to do that is to go for any one of the 4 lower scale options, and do that routinely.
Yeah.
Now, carry forth.
Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get into the higher brackets. $25. You'll get to participate in monthly calls in our Discord server.
Epic typo. Basically, we're going to have a Discord server for Patreons.
That should be the official name, the Discord server.
Then you're gonna start getting all. You're gonna get all the My Little Pony dudes in there, though.
No, what we'll
no.
get is a bunch. We'll get the Discord server, and then the Harmony Discord server. Because like in Overwatch.
Do
But
note this
basically-
will be different from the one we have set up, and there will be more on that later.
Actually, okay. So
Or
there'll
now.
be. We'll have we're gonna work out how the server is going to work. But one thing that to basically explain what this is, we will be getting into every month. We will get into a call and talk with people who are pledging at this amount. So if you ever kind of really wanted to talk to us in person, if you've been there in a game night and like this is really cool, except I wish there was less people so I could actually talk to TTV as opposed to like a huge bunch of people screaming about who their favorite Toa is or whatever.
Yeah,
like
we can
with the
basically
Black
just have a brief chat about
Right.
whatever we want, like Bionicle Lego
right.
Life, the channel, if
Questions,
you want to
that kind of
ask the
thing.
question.
Right.
We
So,
have, in a calmer atmosphere.
Right. And so for that's what you'll get access to monthly. You'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. $30. We'll have exclusive game nights for our patrons, in which you will get reserved access to. You will also now I'm doing it. You also get added input to seeing our videos.
I don't really know what that means.
Me neither.
That is what when we wrote the outline. That was what was there. Basically, long story short, we are going to have game nights for patrons as well, and so that's going to be a reoccurring thing that you will get reserved access to, so that you're guaranteed a spot in that, as well as for the other patrons will be able to filter in. It's kind of like as a first come first serve basis, but we'll be having those exclusive game nights for just those people. It's for games like Overwatch.
I suppose what it means by the added input is basically just like we're in that atmosphere, we're talking, and we could probably just chat about stuff.
You also get people. One of the things that people did really want is to say, hey, can we get input and or give you ideas for stuff, or give you input on your direct input on your videos. I feel like a lot of people, they'll do it in comments and they feel like what they have isn't being heard. So with this group of people, you get the access to give as direct input that we'll listen to and respond to. I feel like that's a thing that creators don't always do. We're not always we see a lot of the comments. I read a bunch of comments every day, both on the boards and Reddit, on everything. But I don't always respond to them. I rarely respond to them, honestly. And I feel like that's the same for everyone here. Well, we respond to a few of them, but a lot of people will feel like their ideas are just kind of going out into the wind. So we give you give direct input, we give direct response. That's what this kind of thing is for.
And the
It's a
important
special
thing to keep
avenue.
in mind in relating to the game nights as well is because there are, I don't want to brag, but we have a pretty large amount of fans, a pretty large amount of people who want to play with us. You guys are
Brag about
awesome.
it.
The problem being when we do game nights, there's a limited player count
Yeah.
for a lot of games. There are certain games that we all love to play as a group with TTV, but if we wanted to make it a game night, there aren't many spots left open. So for Patreon game nights, that would be a chance
lot
to
easier to
really
do.
The
a
biggest
smaller
thing
scale endeavor.
I would love
For
to do
instance.
Overwatch as a game.
Yeah,
night.
if fans wanted to play Overwatch with us and didn't want to only talk to one cast member at a time, which is basically what it would be if we tried to do a public game night for Overwatch, you would have different lobbies per cast member. We could do something where it's all of TTV on one team and then some fans on another team, and we do custom game craziness or whatever.
And boy.
Have a bunch of fun like that.
Let me tell you,
because
we've got a good Overwatch crew here. We got.
I'd say so.
We've
we're okay.
We've been having some good matches recently. Maybe
We're
just
okay
a lot.
on a good day, and we're disastrous on a bad day.
That's true. We are.
Basically,
not
that's the
everyone.
thing. Now, carry on.
All right. $40. you will be put into a queue to have your mock in the mock spotlight. Positive opinions are not necessarily guaranteed.
And that's important. What that means is basically, it's not like instant. It's not like you pledge and then he'll review your mock the next week. There's a queue. That's the procedure. What it's basically doing is locking in a spot for Vin to take a look at your mock and review it. The only thing is, per mock spotlight, rules on the fact that we're not dishonest jerks. We aren't gonna just inflate and praise the score of a mock simply because you were kind enough to support us on Patreon. We're gonna be honest.
Right. It's a thing that you should probably be aware of before you start putting in money to try and get your stuff promoted on the mock.
It's going to come down to a personal.
Yeah.
Let's also be aware too. Like some people will think like their automatic thing is like, oh, let's do something ironic. Let's put like one pin and one axle, and then like we'll give it to Ven to review. Haha, that'll be great for content. We will be weeding some stuff out that's obviously
an expensive pin and axle.
I mean,
that would be a very expensive.
That's
a very expensive
kind of
joke
like,
someone would make
right,
there, but
exactly. I mean, to be fair, if you're wanting to pay $40, that's sure. We'll do the quickest mock spotlight ever, where Ven will talk about it for 3 seconds and then move on to the actual
get one
mock
star.
spotlight. Yeah,
So,
I'll go 1 star.
We're savvy enough to not get duped by stuff like that. Just we're having that disclaimer for a purpose. It's like, positive opinions not guaranteed. It's not going to inflate the stuff. So.
Right.
Yes.
But you will get your mock put on the biggest Bionicle channel in the world. Just saying. Go on.
Next, before Kahi inflates.
$65.
$65. Sponsor.
Wait.
Stat.
Wait. That was a $50 one.
Oh. Yeah. $50. Making something cool and want us to talk about it? We'll devote a segment of our podcast to discussing what you're doing.
So this is a bit more of a promotion thing. The higher we got up there, the more we realized that, hey, we do have a platform for people. And some people have like a project or something they're wanting to get off the ground, and they need people. And they just want that kind of exposure. And obviously, we have the promotions and advertising forum in our board for that purpose. But there's about 2,000 members on the board. How many members do we have on the message boards?
A little over 2,000.
A little over 2,000, which is a good amount of people to reach. But we reached 37,000 people. And we know that some people are making really great stuff they want us to talk about. So this is kind of like a kind of exchange here. If you're doing something really cool, you're thinking that this is something I want other people to see and talk about. This is a way for you to get that into the public eye. And we will, and for us, the thing that we do, we talk about products already. We've already spent a lot of time talking about Metro Nui Legacy. But the thing for $50 is that, like, for us, if you're willing to invest $50 into having someone talk about it, we'll talk about it. That's like the level of like how committed you are to a project. We don't like talking about stuff that's like someone comes out and like, hey, I want to make an animated movie about Bionicle. It's great. It'll be awesome. And we're like, okay, we've been here before. We don't
want them throwing around ideas like we do.
But if you're
like, it will ultimately be fruitless.
If you're committed, if you're like, I want to make this movie, I have all this software and I have this much money to spend on marketing, then we're like, okay, now we're talking. Now
and
you
once
have a thing to make this happen.
We cannot guarantee completely glowing discussion.
Right.
We'll be honest and we will appraise your work fairly.
Right.
Yep. But you will get a spot on the podcast and we'll talk about it.
Right.
But also important to remind everybody that this bracket, you get that plus every single thing we've listed so far.
Yep. You can have a spotlight on the podcast and mock spotlight, etc., etc. So.
You'll be on game nights. You'll get the raffle for the Lego set. You get everything. Again, these all stack on each other. So
they all stack.
Kind of like Lego.
That plus everything else.
All right.
$65. Sponsor status. We will brief you once a month on all of our exclusive projects, sneak peeks on stuff we're working on, pitch ideas for new series, and also sponsor credit in our videos.
This bracket I'm actually quite excited for if anyone actually does go through with it, because I think it'll be a really fun one.
I really do too.
At this point, we almost consider you an investor, and we want to share our ideas and our the things that we're planning for the channel with you. A lot of future projects and our progress on those projects as well. And, hear some feedback, hear what you think about it. It's basically the main concept behind this bracket here.
We've been working...
The thing to keep in mind in relating to it is the fact that we've said this for years. There have been long periods of time where we've we announce stuff, or we're very cryptic about stuff we're doing, and then we hear very little about it. TTV, we're always trying to do stuff behind the scenes. We're always trying to innovate. We're trying to do new ideas. There's just a long development time on some of them, and sometimes the ideas morph and change in development. And this is basically, it's like a twofold kind of a thing, because it gets you guys involved. The people who do this are, like Var said, they're basically investors. They get to see what we are doing and give feedback on it and appraise it and stuff. We get to run new ideas by them to hopefully get some feedback on them before we go through with the idea creation. And it's almost like, I would consider it almost as a way of holding us, I wouldn't say accountable, but perhaps I would. Yeah, I think that.
I think it's an applicable
because
word
it
for
gets
it.
other people into the project basically,
Yeah.
and makes it say, okay, this is a real thing. We need to do X amount of work in order to have something to show our sponsors at the end of the month.
Right.
Basically, is what it is.
So yeah, I like this one because it has like a lot of motivation to continue working. I feel like that's a really, really cool one, and it's just nice to have sort of a better dialogue about some of our projects, especially with some of our fans. So if anyone's actually willing to do this one, I think that'll be a really,
If anyone's
really
willing to.
Yeah, I know it's a pretty
chunk of
pricey
change.
one, but
Well, one of the big things I feel is that like we have a lot of stuff that we're working on the long term, and sometimes we have to refocus that on the stuff that's coming out immediately, because in a very real sense we're like, okay, well, this is going to come out tomorrow, this is going to come out a year from now, this one is not going to be making
Again,
us
it's
any
that
money right now.
circumstance where,
So-
like, if Patreon was a thing, we would have all the time in the world to focus on the projects,
Right.
but we don't because we got to make the videos to
Right.
get the views.
And
to-
so,
to
like,
all
our
that
sponsor
stuff.
status is something that you guys can do if you guys are willing to, like, contribute to this and kind of basically become an investor in what we're doing. We will, in return, be able to use that time and be like, all right, this is actually making this is actually something worth investing in, because people are wanting to see that to the point that they're investing this much money into it.
essentially what it is paying for long-term projects. That's kind of how it is, because
And we
when
have-
working on videos have to make a certain amount of money to be viable. Long-term projects are hard to keep up when you have to manage a channel as well and continue making everything good and
What's
whatnot.
up, Jay?
So
I just want to mention sponsor does not translate into member. Just to make that clear.
Yes, that is an important
Right.
distinction.
yeah.
And
We
that's,
consider you a specific bracket of awesome people that's not TTV cast members.
Well, I mean, it will be. You will have this is the highest level of interaction when it comes to having your influence on our content, and so in that sense,
Yes.
you are definitely a special bracket in between the general fans and actually being part of the TTV crew. The main reason we're saying
There's
that
someone who cared enough to support us to such a
Right.
degree solely to get the insider scoop. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
some
insight and
people have-
feedback that
if
we'll
anybody
go
ends
over
up
that
doing
one.
it,
previously
it will
saying
be
that they're
very
a
appreciated.
TTV
And
member
we will-
or
we will
formerly
make
part of the
use it.
TTV cast, and we had to
Now,
be like, hey, you were
the grand
only a
finale,
guest star, you're only
the
involved in this
epic
capacity.
final pick.
All right.
Go.
For $100, I gotta scroll back up. Project promotion. We're talking about discussion on the podcast, a website interview, and promotion on both TTV and the Brickfeed podcast.
Basically, the whole 9 yards is basically what it entails. If
Yeah.
anyone, we understand that this is very expensive, and it's kind of done, because it's not like many people are going to do it anyway. It's simply for the people who really desire that. The option exists. We're basically going to do everything, because what's important to keep in mind is you get everything. If someone actually pledged $100 to us, they would get their project promoted on the website, on both podcasts, on the channel in general. Tweets about it probably would be lumped in there too. We would go do the whole 9 yards promoting it. You get the sponsor status, the inside scoop on secret projects, the mock spotlight, where you get a guaranteed spot in the queue, the exclusive game nights, monthly calls in our Discord server, all of our exclusive videos, the raffle for the Lego set, a custom member title, calling into our live streams, early access to our podcast audio, a random chance at a shout out every episode, an end credit text scroll, and
lot
our
of stuff.
eternal gratitude.
A lot of
Basically.
stuff.
Whole bunch
That
of
is
stuff.
it is the cumulative end to how everything shakes out on Patreon.
The project promotion is essentially what we do every episode, where we're giving a shout out to a sponsor, you become a sponsor at that point where you are basically the audible ad at the start of the episode, essentially.
Basically. That's what it is.
Yeah. So at that point, that is the value that we see in you. Obviously, keep in mind, these are monthly subscriptions. So it's a pretty hefty price that we know not a lot of people are going to go for. So
Yes.
And it is like they are possibly subject to change at different points in time. Right now, we feel like this is the perfect level for the amount of audience we have and the relation to that. I feel like that's a good enough level.
With
for
everything
that.
you're getting out of it, I feel like
Right.
it's a fairly good.
That being
price.
said, to be fair, the larger we grow, the more that might change because we'll be a bigger audience for you. So like right now,
And
we're
to be
at
fair, we're new to
37,000.
this whole shtick. We did some thinking. This seems like it could work out to us, but it may flop completely, and we got to retool it from the ground up. Who knows?
Right.
We basically wanted to just see how it goes. I'm pretty confident in it.
Right.
and it must
I'm
be
pretty excited to
reiterated
see what you
that
guys are wanting. Some people already have
If you
been
are
playing
in
a
it
lot, so.
strictly to help us, you can't go wrong with anything in the $1 to $10 bracket.
Right.
And do that consistently. That will be the biggest help in the long run.
Yeah.
And spread the word. If you like TTV and you want them to continue in this post-Bionicle world of ours, this is the way to do it. This helps us out dramatically.
The important thing that I think is, the thing I'm most excited about with Patreon is that you have a chance, if you want to try and help our channel out and help us keep making content and hopefully help us work towards making this a full-time thing. But the best part about it is that there's a lot of options here, and really you get to decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
You get to choose what that is worth to you, the value of the channel. And if you don't want to donate towards it at all, that's totally fine as well. Continue watching the videos and subscribe to our channel and comment below. But if you do, this is an excellent option for you, I feel. So.
Yep.
And again,
The perks will be...
sorry, go on.
Go first.
Well, I was saying, as Meso was saying, even if even if you can only like afford a certain amount, or even just like you spare $1, that is beyond valuable
what
to
helps
us.
It all
helps.
honestly,
Longer.
and not even just like every vote counts kind of way. Like legitimately, that is
It does count.
It does.
That's how
it
the
does
most
help.
successful
right. And
Patreons operate.
If
Yeah,
everyone
the
in your
best
fans
difference
did that,
between this and like the other platforms we had is that this is going directly towards us.
Right.
The important thing to really note is that Patreon is very much a donation platform. It is, the idea here is that you are donating and helping us out, and in return we have added a bunch of extra perks that we feel like, well, it's basically our way of saying thanks for that donation.
That's basically how it goes, yeah.
So
By the time this episode comes out, the perks will be live on Patreon, and we'll make another big announcement video about everything fairly soon.
Yeah.
If it's not already out by the time this comes out, I don't know if it will be or not, but either way.
probably won't be,
gonna
but we will have another video separate from this.
Right.
too.
Yeah, we'll be making a big splash thing about it. We just wanted to go ahead and get them out there so they can begin circulating.
right? And then we'll make a huge promotion out of it. One last thing. Heard this. I've said this again and again when we talk about Patreon. But I just got off a conference call with YouTube a couple days ago, and this has to be echoed. You guys are the entire reason we're able to do this, and you guys are a very special brand of people. Not even, and again, every creator's like, oh, we have the best fans, we have the best fan base.
We
But
do have the best fans.
legitimately, we have been told by other people who are like, and YouTube and Vessel have come to us being like, hey, for a channel of your size, the amount of your subscribers that like actually engage with you is way higher than other people's. YouTube, I mean, the people. This is a guy who works at YouTube for their content management people. They're doing this seminar for everyone. He was telling us you have the amount of watch time that comes from your subscribers, the people subscribe to you that actually watch your channel, is significantly higher than most major YouTubers.
We have an incredibly unique channel, and it's because of our incredibly unique audience.
Right. You guys
I feel
actually
like that
stick
should be
with
our
it.
slogan.
Right.
TTV. We have statistically the best.
the best fans.
Statistically speaking, like with
Numbers
actual,
don't lie.
Actual numbers, we have
Literally
made-
numbers that
we
prove
made
that
a
you guys are
bunch of-
incredible.
A bunch of people have come to us independent and said that you guys actually have statistically one some of the best fan bases we've seen. Very, very unique. So, long story short,
Great.
Thank you, basically.
yeah,
Like, that's
thank
incredible.
you. We have the best fans. All our
You guys are
sponsors tell us we have the
amazing.
best fans, etc.
It's like no one wants to be just a number, But if you're just a number with TTV, it's actually a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right,
You
number
are
42.
a very good number.
Yeah,
That is
because
correct, 35.
it's a number that means that you're better than anyone else. That's the
Exactly.
best kind of number.
Indeed,
Exactly.
number one.
That's totally it.
You're a special number.
What is the loneliest?
Don't say that. I just called VAR number 1. Don't. No.
Oh, I'm the
Everyone's
loneliest
leaving
member.
TTV except VAR. It's just going to be a one-man show.
Yeah, it'll
be
be
honest-
successful.
TTV, the 3 VARs.
I could totally do it.
To be honest, I think that is the end of this episode of the TTV podcast.
Oh man.
Glad we had that
One
Generation
day,
3 discussion.
Far into the future, we will talk about Generation 3.
If you pledge for the
G3 when?
$1,000 level, we will immediately do the G3 discussion.
what I've gathered from the last couple of weeks of wanting to do this, it's not going to happen unless I awkwardly shoehorn it in right at the beginning.
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
news notwithstanding, next week that's what's going to happen. Expect lots of awkward
But
segues.
Meso, I want to talk about Rogue One.
No.
Make it-
Hey,
make
yeah,
it
now that Rogue
exclusive
One is
video.
out, can we finally talk about Doctor Strange?
We finally talk about it.
I still haven't seen Doctor Strange.
Shut up!
Are you
Here's
serious?
what I'll ask. Here's what I'll ask, Kai.
Okay.
Is Rogue One good?
Yes.
Very good.
Okay.
I expected it to be Tosh. I liked it more than TFA.
It is.
Dude, I've been waiting to see it, but like I keep looking at my theater, which has reserved seating, and all the good seats are taken for like the rest of the week.
Oh,
Wow,
that
so
sucks.
sad.
But I mean, this is kind of your fault. You should have reserved it like 2 months ago when it came out.
Yeah, well, I don't really.
2
I mean,
months ago, goodness.
I still haven't seen Doctor Strange. I don't really need to see a movie right away.
That's fair. I
I'm
mean,
fine.
like,
So,
okay. Can I
thank
rank?
you all very
Okay,
much for
sorry.
watching this episode of the TTV podcast. We will see you all next week for hopefully the G3 discussion. Check us out on Patreon. Give us some consideration. I hope you like what you see. And spread the word, please, and thank you. Additionally, stay tuned for our live stream on Tuesday. And please go vote in our top 10 moments of 2016 poll on the TTV message boards. We need your feedback on that. You will shape this countdown.
Also,
Yeah, guys,
it's-
remember voting is really important, especially without an electoral college to
Exactly.
You mean
Stop being
electorial?
political.
No, I'm just kidding.
electoral.
Electorial High School.
Also, if you
Electoral
haven't
high
seen it
school.
already, go watch the recap finale.
Yes,
Yo,
it was a
guys, if you
spectacle
haven't
to
seen
see.
it, please watch it. It's so good.
Should I post like your face in this video as the picture?
No.
Or should I not on the off chance?
not
yet.
Like, people haven't seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
Don't put him in a
Maybe do a
thumbnail.
thing where like a screen cap from the episode from the video where he's taking off the mask, where he's like kind of halfway.
It was great because I saw a comment from a dude. I think his name was
just his
Darude
chin.
Sandstorm, which was funny. The dude said that he only found the channel yesterday, and it was like if I had found it before, I would have come up with all these theories about what LJ's face looked like. But now it's the first thing I see.
And why is he the cutest one? No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, dude, you can't put him in the thumbnail. That's like
Alright.
that's like if Marvel put Nick Fury in the poster for Iron Man 1.
Oh, that would have been yeah.
I am glad I asked. 'cause I
LJ
was
is
probably
just a
gonna do
secondary
that.
character.
Wow.
Anyway, I will see you all next week on the next exciting episode of the TTV podcast. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye. I'm
Bye,
Meso.
guys. I'm Var.
I'm LJ.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Takuma Nuva.
And I'm Tenebrae Invictus.
Farewell.
Oh, boy.
Farewell, everybody.
Goodbye.
Dude, Mardi Gras is my new favorite cast member.